Hello beautiful, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bettina and I'm the makeup enthusiast. In today's video, I am sharing with you my low buy / no buy rules for 2023. If you are interested, then stay tuned. But before we get into the video, if you are new around here and you want to keep up to date on this video or my other project pans that I'm doing in 2023, then make sure you're subscribed down below. And without further ado, let's jump on in to the no buy. Basically, 2023, I want to do a no buy. I mean, that's the long and short of it, but I have actually gone ahead and written down some specific no buy rules because I know in myself that I probably will struggle to stick to a strict no buy. So I think if I could just kind of steer clear of these categories or at least stick to these rules, I'll be very happy with myself. But on the whole, I want to be pretty strict with my spending and pretty strict with at least using products up before buying new ones in this year. And I just want to save a shit ton of money this year. I want to save a bucket load of money. So that's the overall goal, and that's the overall reason why I want to spend less money, because I want to save money. I want to do some traveling this year, and you know, traveling is very expensive at the moment in this post-COVID era. Everything has just gone through the roof in terms of cost of transport, cost of flights, cost of everything. So I want to save a bucket load of money, and I think one of the main things that I spend a lot of money on is, well, coffee is probably the first one. But the second one is makeup, and everything to do with makeup, skincare, hair care, all of that jazz. So I want to keep it tight. I want to keep it very tight this year. So without further ado, let's jump on into the strict rules. As I said, overall, at the top umbrella is a complete no buy, but I know I'm not going to stick to that. So I'm going to add extra rules there. And I think if I can at least stick to these rules, it's going to also keep my second underlying goal, which is reducing the amount of crap that I have in my collection. Just the numbers, the sheer numbers, I want to keep them down as well. I'm running out of space very quickly, so I want to reduce the numbers as well. I think by keeping to these rules, that's also going to really assist with those numbers as well. The first one relates to lip products. You see where this is going. No lipsticks, no lip glosses, no liquid lipsticks whatsoever this year. None of them at all. There may be some rule breaks in there because Christmas, Lisa Eldridge, Christmas packs, Kosas, lip oils, which I'm really enjoying at the moment. So there may be some exceptions or there may be some rule breaks, but on the whole, at least 100% definitely no bullet lipsticks, and 100% definitely no no liquid lipsticks. I don't need any more liquid lipsticks. At least if I end up buying for example some Lisa Eldridge lipsticks, I want it to either be a present so then I'm not personally accountable for it, or I want to at least have some lip products used up before I go and purchase any from Lisa Eldridge. Next rule is, and I set this before something happened. We'll explain it. Next rule is use up all of my foundations plus at least 20 foundation samples before I make a purchase of a new full-size foundation. I set this rule when I still only had my 3 foundations that I included in my team project pan last year. So that was my NARS Longwear foundation, my Oma Beauty Say What concealer, Say What foundation, and my let me start that list again, fucking hell. My NARS Longwear foundation, my Oma Say What foundation, and my Ultraviolet Dream Screen Tinted Veil, whatever it was. So I set this rule when I had those 3, and obviously a bucket load of foundation samples. Since then, my bestie actually gifted me a foundation that wasn't working for her. I've tested I've tested it out once or twice on my skin, and I think it's actually going to work really well for me. It broke her out like crazy, but I think from the few times I've tested it, I haven't worn it like for a full day just yet to see if I have any reaction to it. But for the few short periods I've worn it, it seems to be fine, and it seems to like look nice on my skin. So I think I really wanted to purchase a new foundation like early this year. So I think that I'm gonna gauge it. Once I finish up my 3 foundations that I had in my Team Project pan last year, plus maybe like half of those samples, like the 10 samples, I'm gonna feel it out and see how I'm feeling. If I'm desperately wanting something new, like if I'm feeling like I am going to spend too much money if I don't like satisfy the craving of having like at least a new foundation or something like that, I might just go out and buy a new foundation once I hit that 20 sample mark. But if I'm feeling like I can sustain myself for a lot longer, I might throw that 4th full-size foundation into the mix and try and finish that one up before I make any purchases. So I'm gonna feel that one out. I just know sometimes in myself, especially if I'm getting stressed and overwhelmed and tired and like the feelings are starting to flow, sometimes I just need something like purchasing just one item to satisfy the urge. Otherwise it's just like an all-out kind of binge. It's kind of like that binge eating mindset when it comes to spending. Like if I don't just have a little bit, I might have a lot. So I'm just going to gauge it out and see how I go with that. When it comes to cream products, oh my gosh, I have so many cream blushes and bronzers and highlighters. You guys know I was rotating through them last year in my part is in cream, and I don't even think I got to the end of the list of everything that I have in my collection. So first rule is no cream blushes, because cream blushes are just taking me too long to get through. So strict no cream blush rule. And I like, it's a lot smaller surface area for blush. So 100% no cream blushes. However, cream bronzers, you guys know how much I love testing out a new cream bronzer. I'm going to set myself a no cream bronzer till I finish up at least one. And then obviously I don't want to go crazy again. It might be like a 1 in 1 out rule. I wrote down no cream bronzers till I use up one, but we might at least set a 1 in 1 out rule after that. So we're having to use up 2 before I purchase one. That's not going to happen. We'll just keep it at 1 in 1 out. 1 in 1 out. And I think that will make more sense. No concealers till I finish up all 3 that I currently have in my collection. Again, I wrote this down when I still had all 3 in my collection. I've since used up one of them. That's a little spoiler for my Team Project Pan finale, but I still have my Kosas Revealer Concealer and my, what's the other one that I have? Kosas Revealer Concealer and the Nabla Concealer. So I still have those 2. The Nabla Concealer is like basically still full. I only used that for a quarter last year. The Kosas Concealer I probably will finish in the first quarter of this year. But I want to make sure I am finishing up those 2 first before I purchase any new concealers. Eyeshadow palettes. Eyeshadow palettes is always a struggle. You can see a lot of my eyeshadow palette collection behind me here. I'm going to set myself a number goal this year of a maximum amount of eyeshadow palettes that I can purchase this year. This is probably still too high for a lot of you, and some of you are probably going to go, eek, like that's a lot of eyeshadow palettes. But I think when I look at how many eyeshadow palettes I purchased in 2022, it was a good number for me. I want to maybe like, I'm going to set this number goal, but if I could do less, I would be even more happier with that. So I'm setting my goal at 10. 10 was how many I purchased in 2022. I think I actually purchased myself 9, but I received 1 as a gift. So that makes 10. I'm going to set myself the goal of 10 in 2023. We'll see how we go. If I could get less, oh my gosh, I would be so much happier with that. But I want to at least make sure like I'm adding a second layer to this goal if I'm purchasing an eyeshadow palette, I want to make sure I'm doing like a review on it or doing some looks with it. And I think maybe I'm not allowed to purchase another eyeshadow palette until I do a video on the one that I currently have. At least that way, I think if I don't set that, I get mixed up in this like mentality of I've got to get the next new thing. But if I'm at least forcing myself to use what I have in front of myself first before I'm allowed to go out and purchase it, then I'm not going to get caught up in that cycle of not using what I have and not using, like just always getting swept up in the next new thing. So I want to at least make sure I'm bringing you guys a video of something new before I purchase the next eyeshadow palette. So I guess that's saying I'm guaranteeing you guys eyeshadow palette reviews in 2023. Don't know how I feel about that, but that's that. Like, I have to at least use the eyeshadow palette in a get ready with me or a review or a video that has like multiple looks and a review, something like that. Have to use it at least once on camera. Face palettes. Face palettes are starting to get out of control in my collection. I do have a number of palettes that have pans in them, which I'm very happy about, but the number of palettes are still quite high in my collection. I think I've only managed to completely use up one face palette out of my collection. So face palettes, I'm setting a 1 in, 1 out rule. I think I've reached the maximum number of face palettes that I am happy to have in my collection. So we're going with a 1 in, 1 out. And that means that if I would at least like to buy, say, the Hourglass face palette next year for Christmas, or the Pat McGrath face palette, something like that, I'm already setting my goal. Or oh my gosh, the Charlotte Tilbury face palettes, I forgot about them. Okay, I might need to get a wriggle on because I do really like the Charlotte Tilbury face palettes. And if I want to buy another one of them, because I'm sure that another one will be coming out this year, maybe 2, I need to get a wriggle on and use up a face palette. So yeah, we might need to use up like 2 face palettes this year. Because I'm thinking maybe Hourglass might be in my sights next year for Christmas, depending on what the holiday release is. But we need to use something up first. Next up, no nail polishes. Absolutely none. No, it's not happening. The only caveat to this is I can replace my nail treatment. I do have like cuticle treatments and also my Kester Black Miracle base coat. If I run out of either of them, I'm happy to repurchase, but I'm not purchasing like any more top coats. I'm not purchasing any base coats. I'm not purchasing any nail polish colors. It's not happening this year. Only thing I'm allowed to do is buy treatments, but I have to use up what I have first. Next one is probably also going to be a little bit difficult for me. No new perfumes. Again, my only caveat to this is travel size. So I have one little like mini rollerball spray perfume at the moment. I'm almost finished that. It's probably got maybe a handful of uses left in it. I'm happy to replace that with something, maybe even like a set or something like that. But when it comes to a full-size perfume, it's a no-go. It's not happening. I like the idea of having at least like 1 or 2 little sprayer rollerball size perfumes in my collection because they're just a lot easier to travel with. They're a lot easier to throw in my makeup bag. So I'm happy to replace that. But when it comes to full-size perfumes, it's not happening. I want to get a couple more perfumes out of my collection this year before I buy something new. I want to stay in the mindset of keeping a minimal perfume collection, and I want to keep it like fresh in my minimal perfume collection, just because I don't want them to go off and I don't want to waste them, especially if I'm happy to buy more expensive perfumes, like between the 100, 200. I'm happy to even go over 200. But if I'm going to do that, I want to make sure that I'm using it up before it goes bad. So to do that, I've got to keep my collection a little bit more minimalistic. And the last one is related to hair care. So hair care, I want to work on a 2 out, 1 in process. I think this year I would like to be a little bit more adventurous with just trying out a few more hair care items. But I want to get a few more out of my collection first, especially those like curl treatments or like the pre-curl treatments that I have, like the Davines one that I've been trying to work on, and like the straightening treatment that I have, and different hairsprays and stuff. I want to get them out of my collection first before I bring anything new in. So that's going on a 2-out, 1-in process, and I can kind of like bank those credits if I want. I'm going to allow myself to do that. And that obviously doesn't relate to shampoo and conditioner or hair masks. I'm going to include hair masks in my exception category, especially because I have like really fine frizzy hair. Quite often hair treatments, I need to do something with my hair. And also the other exception is dry shampoo. But dry shampoo, again, 1-in, 1-out. We're not having a backup stock of dry shampoos. We're having 1-in, 1-out. I think that is probably overall. Actually, I'm going to add another rule. No brushes, no more makeup brushes. I will accept them as gifts. I will accept them as PR. I'm open to PR brushes, but when it comes to purchasing brushes myself, it's a no-go. It's not happening this year. I have more than enough eyeshadow brushes, more than enough face brushes. I just need to like pull my finger out and wash my brushes. I need to stop using the excuse of I have dirty brushes, so I'll just buy new ones as my excuse of buying new brushes. It's a massive no. No more makeup brushes this year. I think that's it. I kind of went through my collection and like identified the problem categories. These were like the main problem categories, which is basically like every category of my collection. But I think if I stick to these rules, I've done like a no buy in the past where I've like stuck to specific rules, and it worked really well for me. It kind of set myself like little mini goals and challenges, especially if I was wanting to purchase something. It set myself like mini goals, and I was always able to like strive to reach those goals. So I think having these like little 1-in, 1-out or like 2-in, 1-out kind of challenges, it encourages me to continue to use what I have in my collection, and it sets myself like those little challenges. So it works. It has worked well for me in the past. So we'll see how we go this year with my no buy. Probably the main category where I do spend the most amount of money is skincare. I personally feel like I don't have a problem with skincare because I don't buy it in excess. I only buy what I use, and I will like replace as I'm getting either close to finishing or have completely finished up a skincare product. I do have like quite a large box of skincare under my sink with different like treatments and stuff in it. So I do want to continue to work through that box this year. I might start putting some of those products in my project pan, but on the whole of like my regular products that I use on a daily basis, like my cleansing oils, my moisturizers, cleansers, sunscreens, and my different serums like my vitamin C and retinol and stuff like that, I don't buy in excess. I don't buy multiples at a time. I don't buy more than one at a time. So I'm happy to just allow myself to replace as I need, and I'm not going to put any restriction on myself in terms of skincare this year. So that's my no buy / low buy plans for 2023. Let me know down in the comments box if you are doing a no buy for 2023. Let me know some of your rules, if you have rules, or are you just going to do a straight out like take no prisoners, no buy. Let me know down in the comments. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. If you're new around here and you want to keep up to date on all my project pans that I'm doing this year, make sure you're subscribed down below so you can get notified when those videos go live. That's it for this video, beautiful. I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day. I hope you are staying safe, healthy, and looking after yourself. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, beautiful.